අද අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට යනකොට අන්න ඇවිල්ලා කෑ ගහනවා මොකද? ජාතියේ අම්මලු. අරයා ජාතිය අප්පච්චි මෙයා ජාතිය අම්මා. මරු ජාතිය ඒක. ජාතිය අම්මා. කැඳවලා තියෙන මොකද අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට? තරුණයෙක්ගේ ඝාතනය පිළිබඳව කෑමර දෙනවා ජාතියේ අම්මා. සිරිලිය දේවිට කියන විහාරමාදේවි කියන.
That was, of course, JVP leader Anurukumara Dissanayake. We have the full comments made by him later on the Bulletin. A very good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News coming to you live from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Shahin Jarampati. Let's start tonight's Bulletin with a look at your headlines.
CID questions Yoshitha Rajapaksa on usage of Defender owned by Sirilia Savia. Minister Rajitha Senaratne says existing judicial system is good enough to punish the corrupt. Presidential Commission of Inquiry warns Perpetual Treasury's CEO that providing false information is a punishable offence. Revelations made that government securities were transferred to W.M. Mendisenko via Perpetual Treasuries. Samurdhi beneficiaries staged demonstrations. Minister S.B. Dissanayake says Samurdhi review process cancelled. Audit employees demonstrate demanding the audit bill. Starting off with news from here at home, Minister S.B. Dissanayake says that the program to re-evaluate Samurdhi beneficiaries has been cancelled.
We selected 200 major complaints and we looked into them completely during the past 2 days. We looked into why people have been removed from the list. People who cannot in any way be removed, we realized that there are serious mistakes when this list was computerized. In the 200 cases that we looked into, we found 41 such mistakes. We found 11 mistakes that happened when the applications were being filled. Thereby, we decided to cancel this list. We will instruct all divisional secretaries to appoint a special team of officials and to go through these applications individually and to look into how they were filled. We will also appoint another team of officials to look into the mistakes that have occurred at all the divisional secretariats when these were being computerized. We will look at this report and then decide on the steps we will take when enrolling Samurdhi beneficiaries.
This
was a decision reached by the 100 days government. I do not have an issue with the evaluation. I saw several issues during the data collection process for this evaluation. A serious issue has arisen when this data was computerized. Protests over the slashing of Samurdhi benefits took place across several areas today.
Who were the masterminds behind planning of these Samurdhi protests?
A call was made from telephone number 041 22 38 276 to take part in the protests. This is the official telephone number given to Parliament by an MP representing the Mathura district. It was a political party that spearheaded this. To whom does 041 22 38 276 belong to? Look in the parliamentary telephone directory. Yoshitha Rajapaksa, the son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, appeared before the Criminal Investigations Department today. This was to provide a statement with regard to an SUV used by the Sirilia Savia Foundation.
Yoshitha Rajapaksa was questioned by the CID for almost 4 hours.
I was questioned regarding an SUV used by Sirilia Savia. The questions were on changing the colour of the SUV. They asked why the colour was changed from white to blue. I answered what I can. Today my brother was summoned. Yesterday my mother was summoned to the CID and younger brother to the FCID. They asked my younger brother where the rocket is. I was first asked where the satellite is. I told him it is not something you can find by looking up at the sky with a magnifying glass like some of our ministers. We do not find many people who have studied this subject. I am the only engineer who has studied space system engineering.
Space systems engineering.
Test launch.
Initiate launch.
Attention was drawn at the Cabinet media briefing today towards the situation that arose when former First Lady Shiranti Rajapaksa arrived at the CID yesterday.
The buses were parked opposite the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation. A man was shouting, "Mahinda is a thief." That man was attacked. They spend money and bring people down. They have money. They have money now to put on any kind of facade they want. A person who is summoned by the CID is portrayed as Vihara Mahadevi. I wonder what will happen to Vihara Mahadevi. Where is she going to? Will she be called Vihara Mahadevi only if she arrives at the CID? Leader of the JVP, Anurakumara Disanayaka, speaking to a gathering in Ratnapura, made an extraordinary statement about people being summoned to the CID.
Shiranti Rajapaksa ganta CID eකට. Arun puduma deyak newi. Ei.
Shiranti Rajapaksa was summoned to the CID. This is nothing unusual. On the night of his murder, Wasim Tajuddin had purchased a water bottle from the petrol station in Timirigasiaya. After the purchase, he gets into his jeep and goes away. At that moment, another defender passes that area. The CID has identified that defender. Investigations had revealed that the defender jeep belonged to the Ministry of Social Service. This was donated to Felix Pereira by the International Red Cross. Shiranti witnessed the handover. She requested it for their use. I have the photographs that show Felix Pereira handing over the keys to Shiranti Rajapaksa. According to records at the Presidential Secretariat, fuel for the defender jeep in question had been supplied by the President's office. It was used by Yoshita Rajapaksa and was later reported missing. The CID located it in Habarana. What are Presidential Secretariat vehicles doing in Habarana? When recovered, the color of the jeep had been changed 3 times. The jeep, which was white in color when it was handed over, had changed color twice. On the night of the Tajuddin homicide, another defender follows the jeep. That defender was taken by Shiranti Rajapaksa for the Sirilia Savia Foundation. It was used by Yoshita Rajapaksa. Following the discovery, they were summoned to the CID for the statement. Is this not fair? However, what happens today when they appear before the CID? They chant slogans like Mother of the Nation. He's the father of the nation and she's the mother of the nation. The mother of the nation was summoned to the CID over the murder of a youth. They chant slogans. Sirilia Devi has been transformed into Vihara Mahadevi by these people.
ජාතිය අම්මා කැඳවලා තියෙන මොකද අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට තරුණියගේ ඝාතනය පිළිබඳව කැමර දෙනවා ජාතියේ අම්මා සිරිලිය දේවිට කියන විහාර මහදේවි කියන.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa recently stated that he is still the chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
I am the chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. I did not resign, nor was I forced to step down. I have not resigned from the position of party chairman, nor have I been forced out.
Issuing a media release on the 16th of January 2015, Mahinda Rajapaksa announced that he is handing over the leadership of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party to President Maithripala Sirisena. On the same day, the Central Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party decided to hand over the leadership of the party to President Maithripala Sirisena.
President Maithripala Sirisena was invited to take the leadership of the SLFP based on the majority consent of the SLFP Central Committee. Mahinda Rajapaksa handed over the party to him, and today he has forgotten it. Mahinda Rajapaksa's followers had a similar issue of forgetting things. It seems that he has also contracted this disease. In the morning he says he will sign a no-confidence motion, and then in the afternoon he says no. We are saddened because making such statements only causes harm to his image. We call on the former president to take something to counteract the symptoms of forgetting things. President Maithripala Sirisena is the true leader of this party. When members of our party make such statements, it seems that they want to destroy a party and allow the UNP to come into power. Southern Province Governor Hema Kumara Nanekkara made a startling revelation about avant-garde on the Satana political debate program last evening.
Avant-garde was not created out of love for the retired Navy serviceman. This was an initiative to amass wealth for one particular individual. The group that did it is comprised of 5 people. There is only one visible person in this. He bears the name Pati. The other 4 are invisible in this endeavour. All of them earn money through this. This was an illegal floating armoury. When the Galle Harbour Police and the Navy asked who was the captain of this armoury, they mentioned the name of a Sri Lankan whose last name is Nanekkara. However, it was in fact a foreign national. We are well aware of how the handouts of avant-garde were distributed and to whom they were given. We must not speak on whitewashing this incident.
Views were expressed regarding the judicial processes into corruption charges at the Cabinet media briefing today.
We can take one case up at the High Court and convert it to a trial at bar. We can have one case in the morning and another case in the evening. That has been done in the country. If the Attorney General and the Chief Justice unite, they can do this.
high profile no. FCID එකට එනවා CID එකට එනවා bribery commission එකට එනවා දැන් prima facie case එකක් තියෙනවා නම් එමත්තුම මේගොල්ලෝ රිමාන්ඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ value බැල්මට නඩු මිත්‍යක් තියෙන දැන් ඒක ඉරෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ ඉතින් ඒ කියන්නේ මේගොල්ලන්ට විරුද්ධව value බැල්මට case එකක් නැහැ කියලා නීතිපතිගෙන් අහලා මිත්‍යක්
There was an arrangement. The Prime Minister said they have to be taken up after consulting the Attorney General. This was a decision taken initially. That is why a person who gets arrested by police with a locally manufactured gun goes to court and gets remanded. And the avant-garde person who had 3,000 odd weapons is free. When every law is considered at the AG's department, they go free.
ඒ අධිකරණමතුමා මොකක්ද දැක්වූ ප්‍රතිචාරය මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් කැබිනට් සාකච්ඡාවේ
He says that if a special court is brought here, there are constitutional issues. Why should we do something that is difficult when there are easier mechanisms? The ministers are not appointed to provide interpretations. Leaders are not people who provide interpretations. Leaders are those who work. When a public servant, a police officer or a professional commits a mistake, investigations are launched after they are suspended from duty. Why is the same not done with politicians? Is the audit bill, which could reclaim the stolen money through surcharges, being delayed to protect the rogues? The National Audit Services Joint Trade Union has called for the immediate enactment of the National Audit Bill.
Employees at the Auditor General's Department protested over the failure to fulfill one of the good governance government's promises, which is to pass the National Audit Bill. This afternoon they protested at the Poldua roundabout during their lunch hour. The protesters demanded the powers of the Auditor General be further strengthened to secure national resources. Empowering the Auditor General is the only way to put a stop to fraud and corruption. The Audit Bill has been amended 22 times. The Constitution of the country has been amended only 19 times. Why is the government of good governance against this act that puts a stop to fraud and corruption? The Prime Minister and the Secretary are acting beyond the powers of the Cabinet. The property of the people and the resources of the country must be protected. We will make all 1.3 million public servants understand this. We will step onto the streets and continue the struggle to ensure that this bill is passed.
Politicians and activists commented on resignations from and appointments to government positions.
Ravi Karnanayaka was removed from his ministerial portfolio. Tilak Marapana, who defended avant-garde and resigned, was appointed to fill the vacant post. This is like a game of musical chairs. Now it's Ravi Karnanayaka's turn to run around the chairs. When another rogue is exposed, Ravi will take a seat. Tilak Marapana accepted in Parliament the fact that the police raided the avant-garde floating armoury to score brownie points. This was the minister in charge of the police. He revealed who his client is. He was an attorney. So who is the minister appearing for? He was appearing on behalf of his client in Parliament.
The
UNP is against the Attorney General's department solely because the actions of those who added footnotes are being revealed before the Bond Commission. The AG's department is making an intervention in this regard. However, they are not doing so with regard to nabbing the rogues of the past. There is opposition over nabbing the rogues of the present. We saw the latest trend. When the case against avant-garde was taken up, the Minister of Law and Order resigns because he was appearing for that organisation. Days later, he is given a ministerial portfolio. That minister was given the portfolio of Foreign Affairs. Tilak Marapana is the official Minister of Foreign Affairs, while Ravi Karnanayaka is the invisible Minister of Foreign Affairs. It is Ravi Karnanayaka who controls the Foreign Ministry.
The Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the Treasury bond issue says it is determined to ascertain the truth. Zulfiq Farzan reports on Bondgate.
The Presidential Commission states it is not engaged in whitewashing or in a witch hunt, but is determined to ascertain the truth. Following an exchange of words between Deputy Solicitor General Milinda Gunatilaka and President's Counsel Nihal Fernando, who represents PTL, the Commission made it clear it won't accept everything put forward to them by any party as the truth.
The CEO of Perpetual Treasuries Limited, Kasun Palisena, was once again questioned about the phone recording system at Perpetual Treasuries by the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Now, when he was being questioned, Justice Prasanna Jayawardena cautioned Kasun Palisena that he is under oath, and if it is proven that he is lying before this commission or giving false information to this commission, he will be sent to jail. Thereafter, Kasun Palisena testified before the commission that the phone recording system does not record the time of the phone call and the number of the phone call. The commission was curious to know about this and then asked when was the system purchased and from whom it was purchased. Kasun Palisena said it was purchased from an institution called Metropolitan in June 2015. And he affirmed before the commission that he did not customize the system nor did he modify it. The commission thereafter informed Kasun Palisena that if there were any changes being done, the supplier of this system would have the answers for that.
The attorney appearing for Arjun Aloysius, President's Counsel Anuja Premaratna, said he will be appearing for W.M. Mendis and Company Limited and its CEO as well. W.M. Mendis and Company Limited was issued notice last week to furnish audited balance sheets, bank accounts and bank statements for the past 3 years. The counsel informed the commission that he will not be able to submit the details today as requested. However, taking into account the time period granted for W.M. Mendis and Company Limited to furnish the details, the commission informed the counsel to submit the audited balance sheets, bank accounts and bank statements during the course of the day. If he cannot do so, he must submit an affidavit giving out the reasons, and failing to comply, the commission would draw the relevant inferences. Deputy Solicitor General Milinda Gunatilaka informed the commission that documentation provided by Perpetual Treasuries Limited have indicated the movement of securities from PTL to W.M. Mendis and Company Limited. Senior Additional Solicitor General Dapulaji Livera pointed out, as per the mandate of the Commission, the disposal of government securities during the period in question and the transfer of profits must be looked into. The Presidential Commission focused on the dividends of Perpetual Treasuries Limited. Dividends of Perpetual Treasuries Limited from 2014 to 31st March 2016 was 712 million rupees. Kasun Palisena said he was not aware of what happened to the dividends despite being a non-executive director of Perpetual Asset Management, which is the holding company of PTL. It was revealed that 100% of Perpetual Treasuries Limited is owned by Perpetual Asset Management. Perpetual Asset Management is owned by Perpetual Capital Holdings. Perpetual Capital Holdings is owned by Perpetual Capital Private Limited. Perpetual Capital Private Limited is owned by Arjun Aloysius and Jeffrey Aloysius. The Commission reiterated it has a direct mandate to know where the dividends went. The Commission holds Kasun Palisena, the CEO of Perpetual Treasuries Limited, to inform them about these matters and warned him that the request is a serious one and cannot be disregarded. The Presidential Commission handed over a list of concerns that they wish to obtain from former Governor of the Central Bank Arjuna Mahendran to his attorneys.
The citizens of Sri Lanka who are strictly against corruption say those involved in fraud, corruption and other crimes should be tried before the law and punished rather than providing them protection.
All of them are thieves. They should be sent home. Can that be done? It is great if it can be done. It is better if people with degrees go to parliament. People with intelligence should sit on those chairs. Thieves were in power then. Bigger thieves are in power now. The thieves need to be chased away.
The Newsfirst island-wide campaign Sri Lanka Against Corruption commenced today from the Trincomalee and Kaluthara districts. These thieves should be chased away so that they cannot return.
The thieves need to be caught. Why did we appoint a good governance government?
A team visited the Wattegedra village in the Matugama area and informed the public there. I have 2 children. I have no way of providing them with even milk powder. I came with the payment about a month ago to find 500 or 1,000 rupees. It is very difficult. I do not sell goods at unjust prices. I do not even have a house. The team in the Trincomalee district commenced their journey from the Trincomalee town.
Even before 3 months lapsed after the government came into power, the bond scam happened. This has been proven before society. The country is in a deep ditch. The system needs to be changed. The youth should come forward.
Market data reveals that there is a bullish trend of about 907 points in the Colombo Stock Exchange from the 9th of March to the 17th of July this year. Experts say that there are several reasons as to why this has happened. At the close of market today, the all-share price index had declined by 0.36% and stood at 6,417.41 points. The Standard & Poor's Sri Lanka 20 index had increased by 0.04% and stood at 3,697.87 points.
Our policy is not being consistent is what is keeping the locals out of the market. Of course, we had a bad flood. We had drought during the first quarter. Right, that affected big time on company earnings. Markets do react on expectations, right? Because of these floods and drought, the market has been having a correction or a pullback because we expected the results or earnings to be flat, more or less flat. Most of the companies down, it's flat or negative. You can't always have a market moving upwards in a straight line. It has to have its cycles. So expecting the policy being consistent with the budget is where we look at the market to recover.
Questions are raised at the cabinet media briefing over a certain video that is going viral on social media.
It was announced via a circular that following the national anthem and police anthem in the morning, several minutes must be taken to perform exercises that develop mental strength. It may be in form of meditation or something else based on the religion. The IGP makes visits to the police headquarters to see if this is taking place. At times, a different officer is appointed to inspect this process. In this incident, there was no assault.
දෙවෙනි කාරණේ තමයි ඔතන ඊළඟට
කොළයක හදලා No, he was only reprimanded. There was no assault. There are 17 lawyers in the police. Several weeks ago, the Association of Police Attorneys was formed. We are discussing the civil defamation aspect as well as on what legal action can be followed. False information is spreading along with this footage.
අසත්‍යයක් තමයි ප්‍රචාරය වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
මේ රජයේ අමාත්‍යවරුන්ටත් මේ වගේ භාවනා වැඩ පිළිවෙලක්
නෑ මම මේක අහගෙන හිටියේ.
No, I was afraid. If a call is made claiming there is bomb in Peta and the response to that is the officer is meditating, we must think about security. What if the police meditates for 15 minutes? Every minute counts. Back then the police had a monitoring PT session. That time must be used for meditation as well. Police must be strong when chasing down a rogue. That is more important than meditation.
නැත්තම් මේක මේ ඇත්තටම මම නම් යෝජනා කරන්නේ ඒක භාවනාවට වැඩිය වටින්නේ යන්නේ ඒකයි.
බඩතෙනුෙන් දුවන්න බෑ නෑ මතුවා.
කරගත්ත එක.
නෑ නේද මතුවා.
ඒ කියන්නේ ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩකයින්ට දාපු චෝදනාවමද? ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩකයින්ට දාපු චෝදනාවද මේ කරන්නේ?
ඔව් ඒ වගේ චෝදනාවක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ.
An international conference titled Integration of Renewable Energy into the National Grid was held in Colombo this morning. The conference was organized by the Sri Lanka network of the Institution of Engineering and Technology. The event saw the participation of a number of local and international engineers and other stakeholders. Attention was drawn towards renewable energy and the technical and economic challenges surrounding them.
Renewable energy. As I mentioned, everybody wanted to. Although I saw the Belgium, I saw Germany, many countries there declared they will have a 100% renewables by 2040 or something. When Sri Lanka follow this and we may declare a policy on 100% renewable, all engineers are laugh at, saying that what then stupid concept. How can you achieve renewables, 100% renewables? But we can't do this. Engineers cannot ridicule the society. Scientists cannot ridicule society. Because if people want, you must do it. We have a technology. We can do it. The question is cost. That's a good idea. I told our people, look, if your problem is cost, that's not your problem. Not your problem, no. You all are engineers, scientists. If you can do it, do it. Cost is a politicians, the people, if people are ready. As I mentioned, society demand renewables. Of course, they have to pay.
The contestants vying for Miss Intercontinental Sri Lanka 2017 were introduced at a media briefing held in Colombo last evening. TV1, Yes FM 101 and Legends 96.6 are the electronic media partners for the pageant, which will be held on the 24th of September.
Contestants will be spending a day.
The 18 contestants have been shortlisted from among 110 applicants. Global franchise holder for Miss Intercontinental and National Director for the Sri Lankan pageant, Joyce James Gunawardena, said the winner of the contest will represent and be an ambassador for Sri Lanka at Miss Intercontinental, which will be held in Mumbai, India in November.
Now in 1971, when this was started, it gained global, phenomenal global publicity. And from there on, it has become the pageant that it is today. No doubt, the lady that will go from Sri Lanka as Miss Intercontinental Sri Lanka will have to be a notch above the rest.
Group Director of Electronic Media Business of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, Nidra Veerasinghe, was also present for the occasion. And that is a wrap of Primetime News. Thank you very much for watching. I am Shaheen Durrangpati.
And I'm Mahina Bongso. Good night.